My beloved, pause for a moment. Don't scroll. You didn't stumble here by coincidence. The Spirit led you. Because what you're carrying, or what someone close to you is carrying, is not random. This unexpected pregnancy is directly connected to your destiny. Listen carefully. Before this moment, you may have been confused, asking God, why now? Why me? Why like this? But heaven is saying, there's more happening than what your eyes can see. This isn't just about a child, it's about a calling being birthed through an unexpected vessel. The world may see a mistake. People may whisper, but God calls it a miracle in disguise. Someone watching this right now, your situation has shifted so suddenly, you can barely breathe. You feel like your plans were interrupted. You feel unprepared, maybe even ashamed, trying to understand how this could fit into God's plan for your life. But the Spirit of the Lord says, this interruption is my divine intervention. Heaven has chosen an unconventional path to bring forth something extraordinary. You thought you were just living your life, but heaven was preparing a timeline that connects generations through you. Stay till the end of this message, because the confirmation you've been begging for is hidden in these words. Don't skip. There's a reason your heart has been restless lately. There's a reason you felt isolated, misunderstood, even judged by those who used to support you. Because this is not an ordinary pregnancy, it's prophetic. And you, or the one connected to you, are carrying something that will change bloodlines. God says, this child carries my signature. The same way Mary carried the Word made flesh, you are carrying a manifestation of a promise that was spoken long before you were born. Beloved, don't let shame silence you. Don't let fear convince you that you've failed. Heaven specializes in using what the world calls a mistake to produce a miracle. This pregnancy, whether physical or spiritual, is a prophetic sign that something new is about to enter your life. You've been questioning yourself. You've replayed your choices. You've cried silently, wondering how to explain this to others. But God says, you don't owe explanations to those who weren't part of my plan. Every tear that fell in confusion was collected by heaven. Every sleepless night had angels standing watch around you. Because this moment is sacred, even if it came wrapped in surprise. Some of you have been hiding this news because of fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of what comes next. But God says, I will turn your fear into faith. Heaven is writing a story that will silence every tongue that rose against you. And I hear this clearly. What looked like a scandal will become a testimony. There is a divine reversal taking place. Where people once said, you ruined your life, God will make them say, surely the Lord's hand was in this. So don't despise the timing. Don't curse the process. What seems like an inconvenience is actually the beginning of your elevation. Listen closely. Because heaven says, the seed in this season carries a purpose beyond your understanding. This child, or this new responsibility, this unexpected gift, is not random. It's attached to your assignment. You thought your purpose was something you'd walk into later, but God says, I planted it within you now. There's a new generation rising through you, a promise that will break cycles your family could never escape. And for some, this pregnancy isn't physical, it's spiritual. You're birthing a vision, a calling, a mission that was conceived in tears and warfare. The symptoms have been showing: sudden fatigue, emotional weight, spiritual warfare intensifying. It's because you're in your third trimester spiritually. Heaven says, what you carry must come forth. No demon, no gossip, no fear will stop this delivery. Stay right here, don't scroll. Because God is exposing something. The reason this happened unexpectedly is to prove that His power isn't limited to your plan. You thought it had to happen when you were ready, when things were stable, when the timing was perfect. But God says, if I waited for your readiness, destiny would never arrive. He had to allow a divine disruption, a moment that would force you to depend completely on Him. That's why nothing about this makes sense right now. But you'll soon realize, This was the setup that activates your next dimension. The pregnancy was the vehicle. The purpose is the destination. And heaven whispers, "Don't fear what you've conceived, because I will sustain what I've started." My beloved, you've been feeling the weight of responsibility, wondering how you'll provide, how you'll endure, how you'll explain. But God says, "I am the provider of what I birth." The same hand that placed the seed will supply the need. The same voice that called you chosen will guard your path through the storms. Every tongue that mocked you will soon witness the glory attached to your name. Because you are not just pregnant with a child, you are pregnant with a promise. God says, "The enemy fought your womb because he feared your legacy." That's why spiritual attacks increased, why relationships broke down, why peace seemed to vanish. Because what's inside you is a threat to darkness. But I came to tell you, the warfare was proof of the worth. Hell never attacks the empty. It only targets those carrying divine destiny. So wipe your tears, straighten your back. You're not walking in shame, you're walking in prophecy. And this pregnancy, whether in your body, your dreams, or your calling, will reveal to the world that God still writes stories through broken vessels. Before we go further, take a second. If this word is already piercing your heart, type "blessed" and "ready" in the comments right now. It's not just engagement, it's agreement. Because when you declare it, heaven seals it. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Anointed Echo, because this isn't entertainment, this is spiritual alignment. You are not here by chance. You were guided. Now listen, heaven says, you're about to see the reason behind the interruption. You thought life was being unfair, but in truth, God was realigning your destiny. He didn't allow this to destroy you, He allowed it to deliver you from what you didn't even know was holding you back. The person who left, the plan that failed, the job that collapsed, all of it was rearranged to prepare the atmosphere for what you now carry. Child of God, you have entered your birthing season, and every birthing comes with contraction, pressure, pain and tears, but also glory, life and new beginnings. The pain you feel is proof that the promise is near. You can't go back now, you're too far along. Heaven has signed this delivery. You may not have expected it. You may not even feel worthy of it. But the one who called you has already equipped you. He will walk you through the sleepless nights and unanswered questions, because this pregnancy is not punishment. It's prophecy. You once said, "I lost everything." But heaven says, you didn't lose. I was making room. Room for the child, room for the calling, room for the promise that will outlive your pain. Everything that walked away was never meant to witness this birth. Some people had to leave so that when this child comes forth, no one else can take credit for it. They'll look at you and say, "How did she do it?" And you'll answer, "By grace alone," because this story will carry His fingerprints all over it. This is not just about a new life being formed, it's about a new you being born too. My beloved, I want you to understand something. Every divine pregnancy faces warfare before the promise arrives. The moment you conceived, whether in body or spirit, hell took notice, because your womb, both physical and spiritual, is an altar of purpose. That's why lately, peace has been fragile. Why confusion has been constant. Why the people you trusted started pulling away for no reason. Because heaven is protecting what you carry. Not everyone deserves proximity to it. Listen closely. The people who walked away were never rejection. They were divine protection. They couldn't carry the weight of your next chapter. They couldn't handle the glory that's forming inside you. You keep asking, why did they leave me now when I need them the most? And God answers, because if they stayed, they would have contaminated what I'm birthing in you. So don't mourn their absence. Thank heaven for the pruning. The breaking was not to destroy you, it was to make space for something holy. Some of you have been battling fear, fear of the unknown, fear of being unprepared, fear of what others will think. But hear this clearly, God doesn't call the equipped, He equips the called. You may not have the resources, the plan, or the support system right now. But when heaven assigns a purpose, provision follows automatically. Remember how Mary asked the angel, "How can this be?" And the angel said, "The Holy Spirit will overshadow you." That same Spirit is overshadowing you right now. You don't need to figure it out, you just need to trust. The Spirit of God says, "I know this wasn't in your calendar, but it was in my covenant." Beloved, this unexpected pregnancy is a divine clue that heaven is accelerating your destiny. Something that was supposed to take years is being pushed into your present season. You thought you had time to prepare, but God said, "I'm releasing it now." You've been sensing a weight in your spirit, like something is about to shift. That's not anxiety, it's activation. The womb of your purpose is expanding, because what you carry can't stay hidden much longer. The child represents legacy, the calling represents impact, the pregnancy represents prophetic fulfillment. This is not small, this is generational. Your obedience in this season will unlock doors for your bloodline. Your yes will break curses that your ancestors couldn't defeat. This one act of surrender, this acceptance of an unexpected pregnancy, is rewriting your lineage. I need you to hear this clearly. Every time you said, "I can't do this," heaven whispered, "You already are." You've been stronger than you realize. You've been carrying destiny without knowing how much power is flowing through you. God says, "You're not weak, you're chosen." The reason it hurts so deeply is because this birth isn't natural, it's supernatural. Heaven doesn't birth ordinary things through ordinary circumstances. That's why it came through surprise, through challenge, through tears. Because divine things are never born in comfort. And I hear the Spirit say, this pressure is proof that you're close to the promise. When the contractions increase, don't panic. When the pain intensifies, don't give up. That's not a sign to quit, that's a sign to push. Push through the fear. Push through the whispers. Push through the doubt. Because what's coming is too powerful to abort. Heaven is releasing grace for endurance right now. Some of you have been on the verge of giving up. You've said, "I can't carry this anymore." But God says, "You will not miscarry what I've placed inside you. You will bring it forth in strength. You will not lose your promise halfway. This child, this idea, this calling, it will make it to delivery. The pain will not be wasted, the waiting will not be wasted, the shame will not be wasted. Because when this is over, you'll understand why God chose you, specifically you, for this task. He didn't choose you because you were perfect. He chose you because your heart could endure what others would have collapsed under. Don't scroll now, because this next part is for someone who's been secretly wrestling with guilt. You keep saying, "I messed up, I ruined everything." But God says, "You didn't ruin it, I redeemed it." He knew your humanity before He called your name. He factored in your mistakes before you even made them. And still, He chose you. This child, this pregnancy, this new beginning, it is the evidence that mercy has the final say. It's not judgment, it's grace in motion. You may not have been ready, but the promise was, and that's why God allowed it to come early. Because the world needed what you're carrying, now not later. Listen, my beloved, you've been trying to hide what heaven has already announced. You've been walking carefully, hoping no one notices, trying to blend in. But God says, "You can't hide what I've made holy." This season, the glow around you will be unexplainable. People will look at you and sense something different. That's not coincidence, it's divine evidence. You are marked by favor. Even those who spoke against you will soon see your peace and wonder, "How did she recover so fast?" It's because what you carry isn't ordinary, it's protected by heaven. God says, "While they were gossiping, I was guarding. While they doubted you, I was decorating your destiny." Everything that was meant to humiliate you will become your elevation story. The very mouths that mocked you will be the same ones declaring your miracle. Stay till the end, because heaven is about to reveal why this happened. You were praying for a breakthrough, and God answered in a form you didn't expect. You asked Him to use you, and he made you a vessel. You said, "Lord, make me fruitful," and he gave you something to nurture, protect, and grow. The answer didn't come dressed like your prayer. It came disguised as disruption. Because heaven often delivers miracles wrapped in mystery. And here's the truth, the timing doesn't make sense now, but it's perfect in God's calendar. Because while you see a pregnancy, heaven sees a prophetic transfer. He's birthing through you something that will shift nations, heal families, and rewrite stories. This isn't just about you, it's about legacy. Beloved, don't let the enemy manipulate your emotions. He'll try to convince you you're alone. He'll whisper, "You can't handle this." But the same spirit that hovered over Mary now hovers over you. The same God who provided for Elijah will provide for you. The same hand that protected Moses as a baby will protect this promise too. You are not forsaken. You are not forgotten. You are favored. Every obstacle will bow to the purpose you carry. Every need will be met in due time. Because God doesn't give life without giving provision. Now, I want you to speak this aloud. I am carrying purpose. I am chosen. I am covered. Type it in the comments right now. Let it be your declaration. And if this word is resonating, hit the like button, not just as support but as agreement. Every click, every word, every declaration is an act of faith. You're not just watching a video, you're partaking in a prophetic moment. And if you're new here, subscribe to Anointed Echo for more divine messages. Because this is more than a channel, it's a sanctuary where heaven speaks. Let's go deeper. God says, the reason this happened through you is because your bloodline needed redemption. Your womb became the battleground where generational curses will die and generational blessings will begin. This pregnancy marks the end of cycles that have haunted your family for decades. Abandonment ends here, rejection ends here, poverty ends here, fear ends here, because this child, this purpose, carries divine DNA. It's not a continuation of the old, it's the beginning of something new. And though you may not see it now, years from now you'll look back and realize this was the best thing that ever happened to you. The thing that scared you will become the thing that saved you. Heaven says, I used what shocked you to awaken what I placed in you. You prayed for strength, and I gave you something that would require it. You prayed for purpose, and I placed it inside you. You prayed for love, and I gave you a child that would teach you what unconditional truly means. Beloved, this is not random. Every detail is intentional. Every tear is recorded. Every moment is divine. God has already seen the end from the beginning, and it ends in victory. Beloved, lean in, because heaven is opening something right now, the final layer of this message. The moment you heard the words unexpected pregnancy, your spirit stirred. Because deep down, you knew this wasn't just about biology, it was about prophecy. Heaven says, this child, this promise, this seed, carries a spiritual inheritance that your family has been waiting generations to receive. Someone in your bloodline prayed for deliverance, but didn't live to see it. Someone carried purpose but was silenced by shame. Someone tried to build, but every door closed, and now it's come to you. You are the chosen bridge between what was and what will be. That's why you've felt warfare since conception, because the enemy recognizes legacy before the world does. He sees the crown before the child is born. He sees the anointing before the name is announced. But hear me, the same God who preserved Moses in a basket, the same God who hid Jesus in Egypt, has already hidden your promise under divine protection. No weapon formed will prosper, no curse spoken will land, no fear rising will survive. And God says, this birth will expose false voices around you. Some people are about to reveal who they truly are, not because of what you did, but because of what you carry. The light within you irritates the darkness within them. Don't fight them, don't explain yourself. Simply guard your peace. When you feel isolated, remember, Mary carried her promise in silence for months. Not every revelation deserves an audience. Some blessings grow stronger in the quiet. So if you've been feeling distant from everyone, it's not rejection, it's sanctification. Heaven separated you so the seed can develop without interference. Listen carefully. Dreams will begin to speak louder now. Pay attention. For some of you, you'll start seeing a baby, a bright light, or water overflowing. These are not random dreams. They're prophetic signals that the spiritual pregnancy is entering its final trimester. Every time you dream of birth, you're being shown that something in the unseen is moving into manifestation. The Spirit of the Lord says, the labor pains have already started. That's why lately your emotions have been unpredictable. One moment you're joyful, the next you feel drained. One day you're ready, the next you doubt everything. That's not instability, it's transition. Heaven is stretching you for delivery, and I hear this clearly. Do not confuse pressure with punishment. God is not mad at you, He's moving through you. Beloved, when a woman is in labor, she doesn't stop halfway, she pushes until the cry is heard. And heaven says, you're about to hear the cry of your promise. The sound that will prove every storm was worth it, that moment where everything will suddenly make sense. You'll hold what once only existed in prayer. You'll see what you once only imagined. And every sleepless night will turn into a song of victory. The same people who look down on you will say, we didn't know she carried that much grace. But you will smile, not in pride, but in gratitude. Because you'll know God did this. This pregnancy is not random, it's redemptive. It's rewriting what pain once ruined. It's restoring what trauma once stole. You thought this was the end, but heaven called it the beginning. And I need to say this prophetically. You won't raise this child alone. You won't carry this calling by yourself. God has already appointed help. It may not be who you expected, but divine assistance is on the way. The Spirit of the Lord says, you will never lack what's required for what I've assigned. Finances, protection, favor, all of it is being released even now. Doors are opening quietly behind the scenes. People are being stirred to bless you without knowing why. Resources are aligning, because when heaven gives the assignment, provision is automatic. Now, child of God, lift your head. You've spent too many nights wondering if you ruined your destiny. But God says, you didn't ruin it, you revealed it. Because destiny is not perfection, it's surrender. And you've surrendered more than anyone knows. You fought silent battles, carried hidden weights, cried tears no one saw, but heaven saw. Heaven recorded, heaven rewarded. The oil on your life now is thicker than it's ever been. The glow around you now is brighter than before the storm, and the peace that's about to enter your heart will silence every voice of accusation. This pregnancy, this divine assignment, has forced you to grow, trust, and mature faster than you thought possible. But that's because you are carrying something that cannot wait. Heaven says, when this child arrives, the atmosphere will shift, not just in your life, in your family, your finances, and even your spiritual authority. Because this isn't just birth, it's rebirth. It's not addition, it's transformation. You won't be the same person after this. You'll walk differently, speak differently, pray differently, love differently. Because every promise you're about to touch carries evidence of divine favor. Beloved, remember this always. Every pain, every delay, every detour served a purpose. The times you felt left out were actually divine positioning. The heartbreaks prepared your heart for compassion. The loneliness created space for intimacy with God. The confusion humbled you so that when glory comes, you'll never forget who made it possible. You see, this isn't about punishment, it's about preparation. God had to remove distractions so you could hear Him clearly. He had to break your plans so His could prevail. And now, you're standing at the threshold of a miracle. What once felt like loss is turning into launch. What once looked like shame is turning into glory. What once felt unexpected will soon be undeniable. Take a breath right now, put your hand on your heart, and repeat this slowly. Lord, I receive what you're birthing through me. I trust your timing. I surrender my fears, and I will carry this promise with faith. If that prayer touched you, type blessed and ready in the comments. Let heaven see your faith in action. Don't scroll, declare it. And while you're here, make sure you're subscribed to Anointed Echo for more divine messages like this. This is where heaven speaks directly to hearts, and yours has just been marked by grace. God says, the day will come when you'll look at this child, this business, this calling, and you'll understand why I did it this way. You'll realize that the delay was direction, the detour was destiny, and the disruption was divine design. Every unanswered question will fade in the light of the answer standing before you. Because the answer will have eyes, breath, and purpose, and when that moment comes, every accusation will bow to evidence. Heaven's evidence. Your miracle made visible. Now before we close this message, listen carefully. Heaven is declaring over you. You are entering your delivery season. This is the month where hidden things begin to surface. The time where prayers turn into proofs. Where faith turns into fruit. You've waited, you've wept, you've warred, and now it's your turn to witness. What others said would destroy you will become the very thing that defines you. They'll see you carrying joy where pain used to live. They'll see you glowing in grace where shame once dwelt. And you'll say, this child, this vision, this blessing, came unexpectedly, but perfectly. Because heaven's surprises are never accidents, they're announcements. So hold on, beloved. Stay faithful in this final stretch. Keep worshiping while you wait. Keep praying even when you don't feel strong. Because heaven's midwives are surrounding you. Angels are stationed. Grace is overflowing, and your promise is crowning. You're almost there. You're about to see what all this pain was preparing you for. And when it happens, don't forget to testify. Because your story will awaken faith in others who thought they were too broken to be chosen. My beloved, this unexpected pregnancy is directly connected to your destiny, your deliverance, and your divine calling. It's heaven's way of saying, I've chosen you to carry what others couldn't. So lift your eyes, walk boldly, and know you're not just expecting, you're appointed. If this message spoke to your spirit, comment blessed and ready, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because what God is birthing through you, the world must see. And as always, subscribe to Anointed Echo, where heaven still speaks, and hearts still awaken. Child of God, before you leave this message, the Spirit says don't rush what I'm still revealing. Because even now, as these words reach you, heaven is rearranging things behind the scenes. There are people who will suddenly remember you. There are doors that were closed that will quietly begin to unlock. And there are hidden opportunities that will rise like sunlight after a long night. This is not coincidence. This is divine timing unfolding. You see, the reason everything has felt unstable lately is because God was shaking loose everything that could not go with you into this next season. He had to break your comfort to birth your calling. He had to frustrate your plans to fulfill His purpose. That's why nothing was working the same anymore. That's why your usual routine started feeling empty. It was never punishment. It was preparation for revelation. Heaven says, you are entering the chapter where purpose begins to breathe. Listen closely. You are not behind. You are right on time. The delay you thought ruined your plans actually aligned you with destiny's calendar. You were never forgotten. You were being processed. And the waiting season was where your faith matured. Because the truth is, you can't hold what you haven't grown to carry. God wasn't denying you. He was developing you. He was shaping you for the promise. And now you're ready. Ready to nurture what's divine. Ready to walk with purpose. Ready to step into identity. This pregnancy, this gift, this destiny has made you more aware of who you are in Him. Beloved, there is something heaven wants you to understand before you leave. The same place where you were wounded will become the place where others are healed. The same story that almost broke you will become the story that breaks chains for others. Your testimony is not small. It carries deliverance. because every scar you carry will soon shine as a seal of survival, proof that grace never left you. And I hear heaven whispering, "You thought I was silent, but I was strengthening you. You thought I forgot you, but I was forming something inside you." Beloved, mark this day. Something shifted the moment you listened. Heaven is declaring restoration over you. Every piece of your life that felt scattered is coming back together in divine order. Your emotions, your health, your finances, your relationships, all of it is aligning. Because heaven doesn't release a promise without releasing peace with it. You will no longer cry over what left. You will no longer doubt what's within. You will no longer apologize for surviving. God says, you are not the same person you were when this began. You've evolved, you've healed, you've awakened, and what you're about to walk into, no one can take away from you. Stay right here. Take a deep breath. You can feel it, can't you? That warmth in your chest, that stillness in your spirit, that's the confirmation. That's heaven saying, it is done. Every tear was seen, every prayer was heard, and every pain was transformed into purpose. God says, I didn't forget your cry, I planted it. And now what was planted in tears will be harvested in joy. The prophecy has shifted from words to reality. You are walking into it now. Listen, you're going to notice unusual peace after this. Not because your situation suddenly changed, but because you did. Your perception, your posture, your power, all elevated. People may not understand it, but they will see it. The glow, the calm, the strength. They'll sense something divine around you, because when heaven crowns you with purpose, even silence becomes an announcement. And the Spirit of God says, those who counted you out will witness your delivery. They will see what I placed inside of you come forth, and they will know the Lord has done this. If this message is ministering to you right now, type I receive it in faith in the comments. Don't just hear this, activate it. Because when you declare it, you seal it. And if you haven't already liked this video, it's not about numbers, it's about faith agreement. When you hit that button, you're saying, I'm standing on this word, and make sure you're subscribed to Anointed Echo, where heaven's voice keeps echoing in hearts like yours every day. This is your confirmation, your reminder that God is still writing your story beautifully. Before I let you go, let me speak this blessing over you. May your days ahead overflow with peace that confuses the enemy. May your nights be filled with dreams of direction and clarity. May your hands never lack. May your heart never fear. And may the child, vision or calling you carry, grow in favor, wisdom and protection under heaven's watchful eye. You are anointed, you are chosen, you are covered. This unexpected pregnancy is directly connected to your promise, your purpose, and your prophetic destiny. So rise, beloved, walk in faith, and never again apologize for being the vessel through which God decided to move. Because from this day forward, you are not just expecting something from God, you are carrying something for God. Type blessed and ready one last time if you believe it. And remember, heaven never makes mistakes, it only makes miracles.